In a quiet garage, Charlie works patiently on repairing the small plane his wife, Sarah, had gifted him on his birthday, a token of love that now sits in pieces under the warm light of the workshop. Sarah walks in, breaking his focus, reminding him that she'll be leaving soon for an important business conference in London. She once again invites Charlie to come with her, but he gently refuses, explaining that there's still too much work left to do. Sometime later, Charlie is seen arriving at the CIA headquarters, walking confidently through the high-security scanners, the same ones he designed himself, before reaching his post in the decryption and analysis department. While at work, he suddenly receives a secret message from Inquilin, a mysterious contact he's been communicating with for years. As usual, Inquilin offers him access to highly classified information, but this time includes a warning. These documents could expose something that puts the entire CIA at risk. Trying to guess their location, Charlie mentions Istanbul, but the sender avoids confirming anything. Determined to uncover the truth, Charlie begins working on decoding the material, but surprisingly, even his sharp genius mind can't break the code. After lunch, he returns to his office only to get a call from Sarah, who tells him she's safely arrived in London. Charlie already knew. He's been tracking her location. Their conversation is brief. His mind is still buried deep in the mysterious documents. Frustrated that the code won't break, he moves his computer into a restricted area where advanced systems can process faster. After hours of effort, the files finally open, and what he sees leaves him frozen. These are top-secret government reports showing that a drone strike had been disguised as a suicide bombing, a mission authorized and later covered up by higher officials. News footage embedded in the files confirms over 150 casualties, including French Special Forces and Danish Marines. The documents clearly tie the operation to Chief Moore, Charlie's own superior. That night, he tries to call Sarah, but she doesn't answer. He leaves a quiet voicemail, unaware that this will be the last time he'll ever hear her voice. The next day, Charlie arrives at work and finds Moore waiting for him. Moore takes him to Director O'Brien, who has only recently taken charge. With a heavy tone, O'Brien informs him that there's been a terrorist attack at a hotel in London, and Sarah is among the victims. Charlie refuses to believe it, reaching for his phone to call her, but Moore turns on the TV. The news confirms it. 4 armed men stormed the hotel, taking hostages and killing 2. Security footage shows the chaos and Sarah among the dead. When Charlie returns home, reporters crowd his driveway while police try to hold them back. A close friend helps him slip quietly inside. The following day, still filled with doubt and anger, Charlie confronts Moore and his colleague Caleb. He questions how such an attack could happen in a city like London, blanketed with thousands of security cameras. Moore promises a full investigation, but Caleb dismisses him, telling him to rest. The next morning, Charlie goes to the airport to receive Sarah's body and her belongings. At home, he opens her suitcase and finds a gift she'd bought for him, and that single discovery shatters him. Heartbroken and restless, he returns to work, hacking into restricted CIA servers to access footage from the hotel and nearby streets. He pieces together a detailed timeline of the event and presents it to his superiors. The 4 terrorists stole a car from the East End, entered through the hotel's service corridor, where they wiped all fingerprints and DNA, and had arranged a meeting with a company called Impact Investments from Indonesia. Something went wrong. An argument broke out, one guard was shot dead and another critically injured. Security alerted the police, forcing the terrorists to take hostages in the conference room. Sarah was captured while helping others escape. Using advanced facial and voice analysis, Charlie identifies the 4 attackers: Mishka from Moscow, Laurence, a former South African Special Forces operative turned arms dealer, Horst, a mercenary, and Gretchen, a former intelligence officer. Noticing Moore and Caleb's calm reaction, Charlie realizes they already knew. They assure him the agency is handling it and send him to see a therapist. The next day, Charlie secretly plants a microchip inside his ID badge, bypassing security scanners undetected. Back in his office, he prints the classified files and uses a skimmer on the printer to duplicate a digital copy. That night, sitting alone at a bar, he stares at a jukebox, lost in thought. The following morning, he storms into his superior's office again, this time with the evidence in hand. He accuses Moore of conducting illegal missions, bombing a Syrian hospital and striking an Allied base in Yemen, killing thousands of civilians. Then he reveals his trump card. He's activated a dead man switch. If he doesn't manually enter a code every 5 hours, All this evidence will automatically reach major news outlets around the world. In exchange for his silence, Charlie demands full CIA combat training, new identities, cash, weapons, and classified intel on the people who murdered Sarah. After the intense meeting, he steps outside, trembling from stress, and throws up beside his car. Meanwhile, back in the office, Moore insists the dead man's switch is just a bluff. But Caleb warns they'll hunt for the trigger, and if it's fake, stage a deadly accident during training. Soon after, Caleb's team retraces how Charlie could have copied the confidential files. A skimmer wouldn't breach their secured computers, but it could read a printer, so Charlie likely sent the files to print and used a magnetic strip to capture the data. Security footage confirms he bought a magnetic strip, though they still can't figure out how he smuggled it in and out. And when they search his house, they learn he visited a certain bar twice, where they eventually find an ABBA CD hidden under the jukebox. On the catalog, it plays only noise, so they seize the planted disc. Meanwhile, Charlie reaches a CIA training facility and meets Colonel Henderson. On the range, he's a poor shot who needs to get close to hit clean, but when it comes to bomb making, he's frighteningly fast, which impresses Henderson. And during identity drills, Henderson tosses him around to make sure he can rattle off his legend under pressure. Passports are issued, and that night Henderson tells him he isn't a killer. Yet Charlie insists he wants justice, so Henderson hands him a gun and tells him to aim at his chest. Charlie's hands shake and he lowers the weapon. Back at HQ, agents spend hours decrypting the ABBA CD until they realize the dead man's switch was a bluff. They report up, not knowing Charlie is listening in. Turns out the chip in his badge is actually a bug he planted on the files he gave his bosses. Moore calls Henderson to arrest him, but Charlie has already slipped away, and only after hanging up does Moore spot the bug and growls into the line that this is treason. Charlie ditches his earpiece and flies out. Once in London, he heads toward Paris, and when his fake passport hits CIA systems, Moore dispatches Henderson to pursue. In Paris, Charlie rents a room near Gretchen's usual restaurant, waits until she appears so he can start tracking her phone, then lingers by her building until a tenant exits, rides the chance to slip inside, and following an online tutorial, picks her lock. He photographs her schedule, finds a gun in a drawer and keeps it. Then his tracker pings that she's coming back, so he hides on the stairwell. But when she finally arrives, he can't pull the trigger. Deflated, he returns to the hotel and imagines Sarah waiting. Calms his nerves, studies the photos, and notices Gretchen's frequent hospital visits. Her medical history shows severe allergies. Next morning, he buys armfuls of flowers, tails her to the hospital, and when a doctor steps out to fix a glitching screen, Charlie slips in disguised as a physician, locks Gretchen in the machine and floods the chamber with pollen. She weakens and he promises help if she tells him where to find Horst, the man who shot Sarah, but she can't speak, so he opens the chamber and she hurls him into a desk. A brutal room-wide fight erupts until she bolts, and as Charlie chases her into the street, a car strikes her. Horrified, he forces himself to take her phone, dumps the lab coat, cleans up, packs, and that night buys a bus ticket to Marseille. News of Gretchen's death reaches the CIA. O'Brien presses Moore and he mutters it looks like one of their own. Drowning guilt. Charlie drinks in a bar, thinks he sees Sarah dancing, realizes it's someone who only looks like her, then spots Henderson moving in. Panic kicks in. He shoves through the crowd, sprints into the streets, ducks into another bar, and when Henderson follows, he locks himself in a bathroom with no windows, finally steps back out, sits beside Henderson, flashes a timer on his phone, and rushes away moments before a bomb obliterates the bathroom. Chaos erupts, Henderson loses him, and the tracker on Charlie's phone is dead. At dawn, Charlie contacts Inquilin and hops a cargo plane to Turkey. In Istanbul, he texts from a restaurant, moves toward a ringing phone, and a woman blocks him. Check your phone. Then meets him outside to reveal she is Inquilin. She already knows about his wife. Has him hide his hat and backpack in a shopping bag. Tells him to browse and rendezvous at a garage. Then drives him home and explains she became a hacker 6 years ago after her husband, the original Inquilin, a CIA asset who also worked for Russian intelligence, fell from a window. This is the only place she stayed more than 3 years. She's tired of running, and if the Russians come, she keeps a gun to end it herself. They refocus on the case. Horst hires mercenaries, Laurence deals arms, she'll pose as a seller to reach him, and Mishka travels constantly and posts everything. In his pictures, they spot a woman, run facial recognition to her Instagram, and confirm Spain. Next day, Caleb orders eyes on the terrorists to find Charlie. O'Brien tells Moore to stop running Black Ops without her say-so. Moore parrots old promises of full support, and once she's in the car, her assistant shows Henderson photographed in Spain, clearly sent by Moore, so O'Brien dispatches her own